everyone. How are you doing today? My name is Heather Stickler. I'm with the Laurel Infrastructure and Design Group. And I'm going to present a project that I've been working on for the last 4 or 5 years now. It's a low-income, affordable housing project in Northeast DC called the Metro Towns at Parkside. It's also known as the Linda Joy and Kenneth J. Holland Community. Like I said, this is an affordable housing project. It's a townhome community located in Northeast DC. The houses are going to be starting in the mid-200s, and they are going to be attracting government employees, healthcare workers, teachers, and other urban professionals within the district. Abe Pollan is the spearhead of this development. He is the one who came up with the concept. Abe Pollan was a very prominent developer in DC who recently passed away last year, unfortunately, so he was not able to see this come to fruition, but this was his dream, was to provide affordable housing for people within the district. He also built the Verizon Center and owned the Wizards basketball team. He started this project in 2003, and he partnered with Enterprise Homes, DC Housing Authority, and the District of Columbia to make this project happen. The Housing Authority and the District of Columbia actually owned the land, and so they partnered with him to provide the land for this project. The project is located in close proximity to I-295, Baltimore-Washington Parkway, and Route 50. It's located off of Anacostia Avenue and Hay Street in Northeast DC. It's also located near the Anacostia River and the Minnesota Avenue Metro Station. There are also 2 schools nearby, the Cesar Chavez Charter Middle School and the Naval Thomas Elementary School. So it's very conveniently located for the neighborhood and the community. It's also adjacent to a planned National Park golf course, which I'll show you a picture of that here shortly. Here's a location map. This area in the red is the site, so you can see the Anacostia River. It's also located near the National Arboretum. Here's the metro station. This is I-295, and it's close to the Prince George's County border. This is a planned unit development. The planned unit development was approved in 2007, and it was developed by Torty Gallus Architects, and we were on the team for that, as well as Holland and Knight and other partners. The PUD allowed for 125 townhome units, which would have a mix of fee simple and rental units. There's approximately 83 units and fee simple units and 42 rental units. The units were also required to be mixed in the development so that the low income members would be mixed in with the higher income. This is a picture of the approved PUD layout. The neighborhood, as stated before, is located off of Anacostia Avenue and Hay Street. It's within the Anacostia watershed, near the Minnesota, oh, I already went over this. Here's the neighborhood layout. This is actually a composite layout, so this is our development here. And then this is the overall planned unit development for all of this area. This is called Parkside. Here's the charter school, and this is the elementary school. And this is the proposed MPS golf course. There were many site constraints that we had to deal with here, one of which was the portion of the site was located within the floodplain, so we had to get permits to fill. The outfall was located within wetland, and it also had existing mature trees that we had to accommodate. We also had to remove existing HUD complexes in order to build this development. Here's a picture of the floodplain map. These are the existing mature trees that we saved along Barton Street. Typically, WASA requires you to run public utilities down the street for the development, but we were able to get them to make an exception and let us allow them in the public alley so that we could save those trees. These are the existing HUD houses. They're actually already raised. Some of the site and housing features in the community are 2 new community parks, one which includes a playground facility. There's also a nature trail bordering the MPS property, very extensive landscaping and lighting, a low-impact stormwater management that included Filterra, amended soils, base saver systems, rain barrels, and the homes will be Energy Star compliant. Here's a picture of the landscape and lighting layout. this is what a typical lot landscape layout would look like in the community. This is just a picture of the proposed stormwater BMPs located throughout the site. And this is the outfall that outfalls into the wetland area. This is a picture of what a typical townhome unit will look like, or the stick of townhomes. And last but not least, this is a picture of the groundbreaking that we had in April. Mayor Gray, as well as Holland family, Enterprise Homes members, and DC Council were there to break the ground and start this wonderful project. Any questions?
Did you have to do a letter of map revision?
Yes, we did.
Was it an awesome experience?
It was a very awesome experience. Actually, it wasn't too bad. You know, we did the Clomar application. I think that's the short term for it, but we did. They were pretty workable with us, and you know, they had a lot of influential people working on this project since it was a DC-owned project.
Yeah.
I think it went a little smoother because of that. So.
Was GNO involved in the public meetings or public involvement?
Yeah, during the plan unit or the PUD process, yes.
Is that real contentious?
No, the biggest concern that the community had was stormwater management and the floodplain, the fill in the floodplain. So they were concerned about that and making sure that the stormwater runoff was going to be handled appropriately.
So they were aware of that kind of stuff? Like there,
yeah, well,
I
think
think
there was
an education campaign prior?
Mm-hmm.
Or, okay.
Well, there was a lot of community involvement initially, and they talked about some of the innovative stormwater techniques that they were doing. So then, of course, when it came time to go to the DC Council for approval, a lot of that stuff did come up. And of course, you know, traffic and circulation was an issue. They wanted to make sure that that was going to be maintained. But we're pretty much using these existing street infrastructure that's there. We are adding some new, I think 2 new streets, and then the rest are all alleys, public alleys. They were also concerned about lighting. That was a big concern because they want to make sure that there's proper lighting so there's no dark spots. And also community facilities, recreational facilities was another concern. So that's why we added 2 parks in that within the community. And there's also a nature trail that borders the property along this side, and it goes along the whole border, and it borders up to this proposed golf course. So when they actually put the golf course in, there is going to be a hole over here for the golf course. So it'll be a nice feature and nice connectivity.
What about the folks that, oh, sorry.
You can go ahead.
I was just wondering about the folks that were displaced, like had they caused any issues during the public involvement?
No, they weren't actually an issue, but they, you know, and I think they did a lot of due diligence with them, and they placed them and made sure that they were all placed properly, and had, you know, that they paid for their moving expenses, and they moved them and everything. I mean, they really took care of them and got them located. And then the hope is that they'll come back to this community and that they'll either buy or rent within the community. So they wanted to make sure they took care of the people before the building's down.
Is this going to be a LEED project?
It is not going to be a LEED project. I tried to convince them of doing that, but it didn't go very far. But it is going to be Energy Star, and a lot of the design that was done was all typical stuff we would do in LEED development anyway. You know, the LID techniques were used. You know, we tried to cluster as much as we could. You know, just try to minimize disturbance.
I'm sure it would score very close.
Yeah, it might, and they might. I mean, who knows? They may go for it at some point. The architect and I both did try to talk them into doing that, but at this point, there's no plan for LEED. Thank you.